Hi Leo, welcome to your July 2023 energy reading. My name is Kimberly from the Path Illuminated. If you are returning, thank you so much for your support. If you are new here, welcome. This is still a relatively new channel, so I appreciate you stopping by. I am an energy reader and an alignment guide, and I'm super excited because today is June 28th and my website is finally live. It's been months of work on top of everything else I have going on in my life. So it definitely took longer than I had anticipated, but I'm very much working through my old patterns of workaholism. So I really wanted to make sure that it wasn't rushed, and I believe in divine timing. So I will post a link below from my site because I am taking new clients and open to do personal readings now. There are a few options. There are a couple of pre-recorded readings that you can order, or you can schedule a live one-on-one session with me depending on what you're looking for. So as I mentioned, I will be doing a reading for the Leo Collective for the month of July. I actually did a reading for you, Leo, but for some reason it cut off in the middle. And that doesn't always happen, but when it does, I usually just take it as a sign that for whatever reason, that wasn't the reading. Instead of, I did get a little irritated. I'm human sometimes, but I was like, oh, whatever. I used it as a sign that I need to go eat lunch. So that's what I did, but I'm back. We are in Cancer season. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's summertime, although where I'm at, it's been gloomy and windy and cold, so it doesn't really feel like summer, but whatever. But I hope Cancer season is treating you well. I do know that, we got a lot of intense astrological transits. I am not an astrologer, but I do follow astrology. My astrologist is the Cosmic Space Witch. She actually is launching her own astrology course that launches today. And I'm going to be taking her class, so I'm super excited about that. But in any event, we do have a full moon, a super full moon in Capricorn coming up on Monday, July 3rd. Apparently it's considered a super full moon because it's of its proximity to the Earth. And then we have, Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune in retrograde. And I believe Venus goes into retrograde in July as well. And then Uranus goes into retrograde in August. So the energies have been intense. I hope you're taking care of yourself, Leo. Without further ado, let's get started. As I mentioned, this is a general reading for the Leo Collective for the month of July. So the messages may resonate, they may not. If the messages resonate, please give me a like and subscribe. If the messages don't resonate, this just may not be your reading. Don't try to force it. And remember, Leo, you know your life and your situation better than anybody else, and you are ultimately the main authority. So always trust your own judgment above anyone or anything else. And remember that you have free will. So if something comes out in the reading that you're not very happy with, understand you can change your perspective. You can change how you deal with a situation. You can change how you deal with a person. I will start with 5 cards for the overall energy. Then I will pull some cards for clarification, and then we will close it out with an oracle card. Thank you, angel spirits and guides, for providing me with a clear and accurate reading for the Leo Collective for the month of July. What messages, what insights, what observations, what feedback, advice, support, inspiration do you have for the Leo Collective? Thank you, angel spirits and guides. What messages do you have for the Leo Collective for July? Thank you, angel spirits and guides. Thank you, angel spirits and guides. One more card, please, Spirit. Let's get some clarifiers here while I sit with this, the initial 5 cards. And I seriously can't believe we're at the end of June. Like, the first half of this year has just gone super quickly. And sometimes I feel like I'm just doing my best to keep up. All right. Why is the 4 of Swords in reverse here, Spirit? Why is the 4 of Swords in reverse here for Leo? Why is the World here, Spirit? Why is the Star here, Spirit? Why is the 9 of Cups in reverse, Spirit? Why is Strength in reverse here, Spirit? Okay. All right, Leo, so it looks like beginning of July, you're going to be working through coming out of this place of perhaps really needing some rest. Maybe you've been just feeling really, really exhausted, and perhaps the month of June was kind of slow for you and you've just been tired and exhausted, which I understand. I've been feeling it. And while you are coming out of that energy, it does seem like you are going to be taking some time to go inward for some introspection, which it makes sense, especially with the retrograde energies and the transits that we're dealing with currently. I think a lot of us are going to have a lot of triggers and are going to be reconsidering a lot of things in addition to our path in life. So definitely, I think now that you've taken the time to rest, it's time to go deeper with Spirit. And I guess what I'm saying about that is that there can be a period where you're just really tired, you're exhausted emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And it's important for us all, right, because we're all learning this in our own ways, to listen to our bodies, right? And to know, like, okay, I need to pull back, I need to stop staying out late, I need to get some rest, I'm not feeling quite like myself. But I feel like you're coming out of that so that you can focus on going deeper with Spirit and yourself. And so while there still may be a call in your spirit to go inward, it's not necessarily to nap, right? It's to, maybe go deeper in your spiritual practices, meditate, journal, pick up some oracle cards, do a reading for yourself, connect with other people online that can help you tap into your intuition. But it definitely feels like you're doing some introspection during the beginning of July. The World is here. That's fabulous. It's a major arcana. Things are working in your favor regardless of how they might appear, right? Like, I think that has been a consistent theme throughout the readings that I've done this week, is that, oftentimes I think transitions are one of the most difficult periods in our lives. And we have to, when it comes to manifestation, little tip, it's the way to manifest is to get into the energy of what it is you're trying to manifest, the energy of love, the energy of abundance, whatever it is, right? To get into that energy, but it can be, there's a lag time, right? Because we manifest in the 5D, we shift our energy, we align with the energies that we want in our life, but we don't always necessarily see that come to fruition right away in our 3D reality, because 5D, right, like it's the spiritual realm, it's the astral realm, it's where everything is possible and happening all at the same time. But in our 3D reality, in the world itself, it can take much longer to actually show up, because 3D is so dense. And I think because of that perceived delay, you may be unclear about how to move forward. And it may feel like to you, again, I really feel like this is just a perception, Leo, that you don't have any options, and you may feel a little bit confused. But I think that that's where this hermit energy comes in, is that sometimes when we're constantly going and constantly doing and surrounding ourselves with various people and energies, as it so happens, right? Like it's summertime here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going out, we're doing more. Sometimes we can be distracted by other people, right? We compare ourselves, sometimes even unknowingly. We see people getting the job, getting the raise, getting the house, getting, the relationship, the children, whatever it is, right? And sometimes that can make us feel like, well, am I doing something wrong? I feel like I've been listening to my body, and like I'm going inward to connect with the universe, and I can feel, right, that things are shifting, but I don't see it yet. And so the universe is calling for you to really tap into your intuitive energies. So we have the star here. This is a card of Aquarius, and you can see this figure is not only tapped into spirit, but also grounded in reality, right? And this individual is pouring into this lake, pouring into the earth. I don't know if you can quite see the expression, but it's a bit of a smirk. It's like very contented and at peace, right? And like by pouring into yourself, by trusting the process, by tapping into your intuition and to spirit, like you will raise your vibration such that the people who need to notice you will start to notice you, simply because you're pouring into yourself. And I think that this is going to come as a result of you going to this hermit energy and tapping deeper into your spiritual practices to get you through this transition. Now, it does look like there is going to be some conflict, and I think that this has to do actually with you choosing yourself. I think that there may be some people who do not have your best interests at heart, Leo, that are going to take it personally when you decide to go inward and to prioritize yourself and your own healing. And you may feel like you're surrounded by people who just want to fight with you. And that might make you definitely feel unbalanced. The 9 of Cups is here, but it's in reverse. So when it's upright, this is a wish fulfillment. This is pouring into your own cup. This is having all of your emotional needs met, but it's in reverse. So I think that, right, and there's also the 7 of Cups in reverse here. I think that, it makes sense during Cancer season, we're all hypersensitive. And I think that oftentimes it can be really triggering when we're just following our heart, we're taking care of ourselves, we're taking time for ourselves to heal, to go inward, to go deeper with spirit, so that we can figure out what it is we need to do for ourselves. And people take it seriously and personally, and they create conflict and they create problems that don't actually exist, and they start making it about them instead of having the maturity and capacity to understand that you're doing this for yourself, and that they shouldn't be taking it personally, because it's really disrespectful actually and immature. But because you're choosing yourself and you've been taking some time away to work through your own blockages and your own sort of sense of self and your perspective, I think your emotions may feel a little bit upside down. You may feel a bit depleted emotionally, and it may have to do with people who are in your life that you're having conflict with simply because you're choosing yourself. It is clarified by the Hierophant and the 9 of Wands. So the Hierophant is about going deeper into your spirituality. It can also point to deepening your learning, kind of like what I was saying over here, like finding spiritual practitioners and teachers online. This may be a call for you to maybe sign up for some type of course or some type of group meditation, high priestess healing Jessica. She's a reader that I love and I work with regularly. She has several meditation groups going on that she is conducting. That might be something you want to look into during the month of July, because it might offer you a lot of support as you're working through this transition, Leo. Then there's the Nine of Wands. So there's a situation that's been really heavy on you that is going to be coming to an end. It's not quite there yet. And that is likely the cause of some of this turmoil. I don't know if this is like you're coming to a place of starting to really realize that some people in your life are not who you thought they were. They actually are what I call frenemies. They're people that pretend to be your friend. They pretend to be supportive, but secretly they're jealous and envious of you. And when you have to take time for yourself, when you choose yourself, when you go inward, when you have to say no to people, when you have to say like, hey, I'd really love to do this with you. You know, I'd really love to go on this trip with you. As an example, you know, like I'd really love to go on this trip with you next week, but you know, there's a lot of work deadlines, and also I'm trying to save money and I'm planning on going on a trip in the fall, and I really only have the finances for that. And somebody takes it personally, like, oh, you're no fun, da, 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 da. And they make you feel guilty, and they make you feel like you have to defend yourself. And so if that situation, something like that is happening, sorry, I had to take a sip of water. If something like that is happening during the month of July, it's something important to pay attention to, because it seems like you're coming to the end of a certain cycle. And I do think that this has to do with some of your relationships. It could be work related too. Maybe you are overworking. Maybe your job is expecting too much. And when you decide to take PTO, they're like, you don't need to take PTO. We need you to be here. What do you mean you need to take time off? So there is a situation that's been burdening you, that's coming to an end, and it's asking you to go deeper. And the guidance that I'm getting from the universe is that you really need to double down on your spiritual practices and potentially get a mentor, a coach, a guide, sign up for, like I was saying, like a group meditation or something of that nature, so that you can tap into this intuitive energy to gain some balance and support through this transition. Now, there's the Strength card, which is a card of Leo, but it's in reverse. So you might be feeling a bit insecure. You might be feeling like you don't have the wherewithal to face whatever ending or challenges are coming your way. But again, it's clarified here by the Devil, and the Devil card of Capricorn. If you can see these two individuals here, they have chains around their neck, but they're loose. And what does that mean? That means that you have the ability to free yourself from toxic patterns, ways of thinking, ways of being, and relationships and addictions. So even though you may not feel like you have the strength, you absolutely do. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. I definitely see, you know, July is going to be very, very challenging for you. And I think like you want to be out there, you want to be social, you want to be having a lot of fun, but you're being called to go inward and to go deeper with spirit, because you have some internal narratives that you've been holding on to that need to be identified and processed appropriately. And people who truly support you are going to support you doing what you need to do for yourself. I'm going to pull a few more. Okay. They came out without me even asking. I'm going to pull a few more cards for clarity here. Yeah, so there are a lot of wands here. So I'm getting the feeling that maybe this really does have to do with work and coworkers. You have an opportunity for a fresh, new, passionate start. Maybe it's a new job. You're going to need to come out of this. So for me, Seven of Swords upright can talk a lot about self-deception, and kind of like I was talking about earlier, those stories that we tell ourselves that like, I can't let anybody down. And like when we avoid conflict with others, we create conflict within ourselves. And there might be people who want you to feel conflicted about choosing yourself. Don't allow them to create inner conflict for you. Choose yourself, even if it's difficult, even if you have to fight for it, even if you have to stand up for yourself, even if you have to tell people in a not so nice way, like, no, this is what I'm doing. I need time for myself. I need a mental health day. I need to take time off. I can't keep doing this. You're going to have an opportunity to start something fresh and new. And obviously, wands are fire energy, so this is really your element. You're definitely going to be working through some inner conflict and reestablishing your connection to spirit, gaining some balance. Emotional balance is going to be key, and it's what's going to help you to get through this transition, Leo. Finding emotional balance and working through any stories in your head that make you, the inner critic that will make you feel guilty for choosing yourself, will make you feel guilty for taking a day off work, will make you feel guilty for saying no to the invitation to go on a vacation you can't afford to go on, right? Like, don't let the inner critic make you feel shame about choosing yourself. Like, the inner critic will convince you that you have to keep doing and you have to keep going and you have to keep everyone happy, and like it's selfish to take time off and it's selfish to say no. It's not. Because at the end of the day, if you're working really hard and you're showing up every day, if you're not happy, if you're feeling unlike yourself, right, and you're having situations at work or in connections with people where you feel like every time you choose yourself and every time you shine brightly like the star that you are, Leo, that causes conflict with people who are surrounding you, those are the wrong people to be around. Because people who truly are aligned with you and are healthy are going to support you, even if they don't get exactly what they want. So you really have to take the time to go inward. And I think the Hermit energy, Leo, is about you taking that time away from people you've been surrounding yourself with so that you can get clear on what is yours and what is not. When we are constantly distracting ourselves with being around people all the time, we can pick up on their energy, and it can be very hard to differentiate what is ours and what is theirs, and we can create our own inner conflict because we're so worried about how other people are going to feel if we do this. And at the end of the day, Leo, you're the one that has to live with your own decisions, and you've already been in a place of being exhausted and depleted. So now you need to, now that you've had some time to rest, you need to take the time to connect deeper with your spirit guides so that you can gain that balance. And remember that you are the star. And just because other people are uncomfortable with you shining bright doesn't mean that you need to dim your light. That's just not true. Other people need to, you know, if they can't handle the heat, they should get out of the kitchen, period. I know for me, like, I really can't be in connection with people who are insecure because they are triggered by my confidence. And when people are unhealthy and are not doing their shadow work, instead of being inspired by somebody's growth, by their confidence, by their accomplishments, they become intimidated, they become jealous, they become envious, and they will project that energy onto you. They may not even be able to admit it to themselves, but that's what they'll do, and you will know by how you feel around them. So I think like this time in July is going to give you an opportunity to remove yourself from people that are causing you conflict, and will help you get clear about like, oh, that's interesting. When I was, you know, hanging out with those people at work, I was like just feeling really crappy and insecure. And now that I've like pulled my energy back and I'm not hanging out with them as much, I feel a lot better. That's something to pay attention to, Leo. I just want one more card, Spirit. Spirit's not giving me this card. Spirit. Oh, yes. All right, the last two cards. Knight of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. So Knight of Pentacles, the Knights are all about action forward, but the Knight of Pentacles takes his or her time to really consider the path forward and to make sure that the path is clear and that they are fully prepared. This is the slowest Knight in the deck. So I think what this reading is saying is that this is not going to happen overnight, but you need to start the process now in the month of July to get clear on what's yours and what's not, because you are the star, but you have some emotional disconnect and imbalance because of the people you've been surrounding yourself with. But at the end of the day, Leo, you are the Queen of Wands. You are confident, you are vivacious, you are powerful, you're a manifester, you're intuitive, you're attractive, you're abundant, and you need to stand and, I mean, she's sitting. You know what I'm saying? You need to be in your authority, right? But I think what it's going to take is you going inward to like start to understand that like you feel this momentum, you feel this transition coming, and you know that you're a magical person that draws a lot of attention to you. And when people are triggered by it because of their own lack of self-worth and self-confidence, that has nothing to do with you, but it's not your job to fix them. And you shouldn't have to constantly justify what you're doing when you're choosing yourself. And people who make you question yourself are going to make you feel imbalanced. And you need to reconnect with spirit. So I think like figure out what you need, take some time away, you know, go on a spiritual retreat, work with a coach or a tarot reader or an astrologer, sign up for, you know, a meditation course or webinar or whatever, and deepen your spiritual practices so that you can get clear on what's yours and what's not, because you are the Queen of Wands. But you need to let go of people, places, things, ideas, and ways of being that are keeping you trapped. All right, Leo, I'm gonna leave it there, but we will pull a card from the Soft Cosmic Concepts Oracle deck. It's a mouthful, but I really do love this Oracle deck. An oracle card to close this reading out for Leo. Angel, spirits, and guides. One card, one card. Winter, a period of soul searching and rest. All right. Focus, inner work, planning, recharging. This can be a time of solitude and introspection. There may be a need for reflection and planning for the future. Take this time to recharge your energy and cleanse your mind and space. If you need to press the restart button, now is a good time. Yeah, Leo, it's time to go inward. Cut out the distractions. Step away from people that make you question yourself, your value, your worth. Take a step away from individuals that make you feel like you have to dim your light in order to be in their presence because they're insecure, because that has to do with them and not you. And lean into this need to go inward, to connect with your soul and spirit, because that's what's going to help you through this transition during the month of July. I hope these messages resonated for you, Leo, and I'll see you next time. Bye.